Okay, so my my other video I talked about somebody at Rogers watching me, so I thought I'd make a video associated around that particular issue, so you could see things from my perspective. Because saying um something like that without the evidence, I guess would make one question whether what the hell is he talking about, right? So I thought I'd just show you my little investigation so you can get a little bit more insight into where I get my information. So what I'm about to show you is all the most basic components of uh, the information that I've put together that makes me believe that somebody out there at Rogers is watching me and that she's African American. So um, when you come to this video, when you're like scrolling up and you watch this video, I'm going to create a playlist specific for this video. So it's going to be here. It's going to be called "We Need to Find the Keys." Um, so you can find this video by itself, like when you're just watching my videos. Like I'm pretty certain sometime in the near future, people are going to they'll scroll all the way to the bottom and they'll watch all my videos all the way up to the top. So when you get to this video, um, you need to go to this playlist here. We need to find the keys because that's where I'm going to put this video at the very bottom of the playlist. So you go down to the bottom of the playlist, you watch this video, then you go up to the top and you watch the associated videos and learn about my investigation. So this is the Edge of Tomorrow. So Edge of Tomorrow has a particular scene with a helicopter in it. So where are we here? Right here, Edge of Tomorrow. Okay, so when you watch the Edge of Tomorrow trailer, you're gonna see this helicopter there. So it says, Emily Blunt says, we need to find the keys. So when you hear her say we need to find the keys, you could see this helicopter. So that helicopter is pivotal in me finding the keys. It has something to do with a helicopter. So that's what started my investigation. So my next clue is I watched this show in the '80s when I was a kid, teenager I should say, um, and I remember this character being Frank Murphy. So Frank Murphy is that guy there. Um, so that helicopter is associated with this helicopter here, Blue Thunder. So I figured it has to deal with OPP, like monitoring my cell phone, making sure I'm not breaking the law. So they could be watching me. I believe they probably are. It's possible. Or there's somebody else watching me. So you watch my other videos, I assume it's OPP. I assume it's a hacker. Then now I've added Rogers into the mix. So the helicopter in the previous trailer, Edge of Tomorrow, is connected to this helicopter, and the name Frank Murphy. So in that trailer, you're gonna see his wife. She uses a key to get into the front door. She tells him, how many regulars come in the front door with a key? So that key has connected back to this one, the helicopter there with that key. So the both are intertwined. So now there's a particular scene in Blue Thunder where he says, you're talking about crowd control from the air? And then it cuts out to a different person. He says, that's what this special detail is all about. So what I've been led to believe is that somebody is monitoring this cell phone and they're recording it for crowd control, because when it turns out that when the world finds out that Native Americans are in control of all creation and not some Caucasian guy, there's going to be riots on the street, literally riots on the street, and that's from Joker, Joaquin Phoenix, or Joaquin Phoenix, when he's on stage with Murray Franklin. Um, he he talks about Murray talks about there being riots on the street. Look what you done. There's riots out there, so I can tell there's going to be riots around the world. So there needs to be some sort of crowd control. That's why I believe that the creators have positioned this person who's monitoring me to record me so that she can come forward and present herself to the world and say, hey, man, I was assigned to watch that guy. And he woke up my third eye, told me that he needed the video recordings that I've been making of him so that we can work together to release those recordings to mankind to stop the riots that are out there on the streets. So that's what he's talking about here, the crowd control. It's basically to stop riots out there on planet Earth because of people being, I don't know, racist towards Native Americans because we're in control. It's the only thing I can think of, right? So, I don't know. Maybe they don't like what I did to save you guys. But either way, if there's potential riots out there, it's up to this person at Rogers to stop it. We're talking about crowd control. And when he says we're talking about crowd control from the air, it doesn't mean the helicopters. It's talking about the cell signal of my cell phone flying through the air to the nearest tower over here. So, not later on, you're talking about, but when Frank went looking for answers, so this is a representation of whoever's watching me over at Rogers looking for answers. Like, I told you guys previously before that this person probably has like hundreds of people that she has to monitor on a daily basis at her job, 9 to 5. And, you know, I probably take up maybe half an hour of her day every day or less, maybe even 5-10 minutes. So when she comes looking for answers, or when Frank Murphy went looking for answers, it's basically about looking at my cell phone and looking for answers. Like, when is this guy going to break the law? I've been watching it for 6 years now. He hasn't broken the law. So it's referring to that, like her coming to this phone looking for answers, but me catching her at a pivotal moment where, you know, during that 10 minutes that she was watching me, I was literally talking to the phone, and she probably paid close attention to what I was trying to teach her, and it allowed her to open up her third eye. 10 minutes turned into half an hour. Half an hour turned into an hour. And before you knew it, she was watching me for 3-4 hours, and I was talking directly to her, letting her know that I know that she's watching me at Rogers. And that's what piqued her interest. So I theorize that she's awake now. Third eye. That's what this means, looking for answers. So you got all this on tape? Every word of it. So he's talking to his co-pilot. So this makes me believe that the people at Rogers are recording this cell phone. It's being recorded somewhere, probably to the cloud. You can't store the amount of data that I'm watching this phone 24 hours a day on a hard drive server. So they're probably using some cloud-based servers. So you got all this on tape, Maggie. I got every word of it. Well, good. Then we can release the recordings later. That's what it's talking about here. So then you'll hear him say, the answer came looking for him. The answer came looking for Murphy. So that's me looking for, whoever's watching this right now over there at Rogers. So later at the end, you're going to hear this. They had the ultimate weapon in the perfect plan. That ultimate weapon, I believe, is corrupt people trying to put stuff on my computer or cell phone as a way to arrest me and throw me behind bars so that I cannot save the day and save mankind from being destroyed in a black hole. So basically, by getting me thrown behind bars. So that's the ultimate weapon. Like somebody corrupt out there putting stuff on my electronics that shouldn't be there. So, but Murphy had the perfect plan, the ultimate weapon, but Murphy stole their thunder. So that helicopter is a representation of Murphy, who is a representation of Rogers. They're all interconnected. So Murphy stole their thunder means the lady at Rogers who's watching me is going to steal the thunder from people These guys are police officers who are trying to put something on my computer. So that's my theory that, I have some corrupt police officers who may want to put something on my computer, but Murphy or the lady at Rogers who's monitoring me is going to steal their thunder and not allow that to happen. So that Murph from Blue Thunder is connected to Murphy from Interstellar. Cooper's daughter is named Murphy. Murphy is connected to Murphy from Blue Thunder. And this helicopter at the beginning. So that helicopter is a representation of Murphy and Blue Thunder. So we'll go back to here. So it's connected to Murphy's Law. So basically here in this particular scene in the Stellar Murphy's Law, Cooper falls into the black hole and he's telling Murph not to leave him. And the words stay. So he's behind a wall trying to talk to his daughter from the future inside a black hole. And he's yelling at her, "Don't let me leave, Murph. Don't let me leave, Murph. Stay. So it's a representation of me trying to get this lady at Rogers to stay for like 10 minutes and listen to me talk. I guarantee, I bet you most of the times that she's, monitoring me is probably when I'm watching adult websites. I'm watching, like Pornhub, or I'm watching X videos. So when I'm watching that, she's probably just looking at the activity, like scrolling through, seeing what I'm looking at, watching. And then, I need her to stay. So more than likely what occurred is after I had a climax, I shut that stuff down right away, like instantly. I shut it down. I don't even think I sat there for like 5 minutes with the, with the phone right after that. That's when I started talking right away. I started using YouTube to talk to whoever was out there. I can't remember what I put on, but I put on a song or something, and I started talking. By using videos on YouTube, I was trying to talk to the person who I theorize might be out there. So that's what it's referring to, like getting that person to stay beyond the regular associated work that they're used to, like just scanning through my internet traffic to see what I've been doing. But if I caught her at the opportune moment after my climax, and then I start talking using YouTube right away, she may have paid attention for that 10 minutes. Like, okay, this guy's actually talking to me for a minute. So it's referring to that, like getting this person to stay and listen to what I have to say outside normal business hours, because she I don't think she's ever done that. She just checking my internet activity and checking in on me to make sure I haven't broken any laws. But I theorized for the first time ever, I got her to stay that 10 minutes as I needed her to stay, so that she could listen to me and have her third eye open. So that's what this Murphy's law scene is about from Interstellar. It's about me trying to talk to my daughter, who I theorize is a person at Rogers, and getting her to stay and listen to me so that I can wake her up, wake her third eye up. So it says, "Stay, Dad." So they're having a conversation later. It's like, "What's going on, Murph? Why did you and Mom name me up for something that's bad?" So that's his daughter. Her name's Murphy, which is connected back to this helicopter. So whoever is monitoring me from the air is the daughter. It's not a male. So that's one clue to make me believe that she's female. So Murphy's Law. So now here is a particular scene where they're talking about Dad didn't even try to save us. He just abandoned us. I'm the father of all creation. I'm not abandoning anybody. I'm trying to save you guys from extinction, total extinction, because Ragnarok is here. If I die, if mother dies, or if something terrible goes wrong, everyone in creation is going to die. Everybody will die. Grandmother will rewind time back to the beginning of time, and we'll have to do this all over again. And a different person, I would say 1,000 lives from now, on the 2002nd life, will get the glory and get to live forever and ever and ever. So you bad guys out there who are imposters watching this, make damn sure you realize that. Don't come talking your crap about me, about this or that, because if you drop the ball on this, evil, dead, walking imposters, everything in creation is gonna die. This is it. This is for all the marbles, man. Pay attention to the videos prior to my videos when I'm talking to you about Ragnarok, because it's true. So if I'm the father of all creation and I'm trying to save you, it must be that other guy that's abandoning you, because he's not real. He's left you here to die. That's what it's about. It's not about Cooper in there. You've been presented with two fathers. One's a Native American, one is not a Native American. I'm telling you I'm the real deal, and where's the other guy? He's not even here. He's left you here to die. So, next we're talking about who created the black hole. A civilization that's evolved past the 4 dimensions. It's a spirit. All black holes are spirits. That's all that means. My spirit. So, let's go into here. So, look at the playlist here. So we've gone through the edge of tomorrow. The helicopter here is connected to the helicopter here. Blue Thunder. And through the association of Blue Thunder and Murphy, Murphy from here is connected to Murphy here. Because that's his daughter's name. Now, this one here, Murphy's Oil Soap, that's connected to my house. Because I have hardwood floors. So, the soap one on the commercial is to let you know that whoever's monitoring me from Blue Thunder or Murphy is connected to watching somebody in a house with hardwood floors. That's what the Murphy's Oil Soap is about. It's to let you know that I know that somebody out there is watching me because I have hardwood floors and they're connected to this Murphy stuff. So, because Murphy's Oil Soap is used to clean hardwood floors, it means that I'm clean. I'm not bad, despite what many people out there will say. I'm good. When I use my hardwood, I'm good. I'm not bad. So that's the connection to Murphy's Oil Soap. So I thought I left this one in there. So now we got to go here. So we go to Murphy Brown. So Murphy Brown is connected to Murphy's Oil Soap, which is connected to this house, the hardwood floors, which is connected to Murphy from Interstellar and Murphy from Blue Thunder. So Murphy. And since Murphy Brown is a reporter, it means that the person who's Rogers monitoring me must report these findings and come forward when the shit hits the fan and everyone starts crying around that Native Americans are the creators. And that's to prevent my assassination. Because if I die, everything in creation is going to die. So, Murphy Brown, you need to step forward and step up to the plate and become the reporter and let the world know what's going on. That's the connection to Murphy Brown. Now, this one here, Young Guns, there's a character in here that's called Murphy. Murphy. But you guys wouldn't know that all of these things are interconnected because you're not the creator. I am. You have to know what I know. And that's why I'm making this video so that you can understand what I know. So, Billy the Kid shoots this guy. He says, "Reap it, Murphy, you son of a bitch." But It does not mean repeat person that Rogers watching me. No, it means it's a play on words like it just means repeat mankind and doubters and non-believers because I have Murphy on my side. That's basically what it means. So now it's over, he says, after he shoots Murphy in the head. The reason why Murphy gets shot in the head right here is because that's where your third eye is. You know, when you begin watching some of my videos, you're going to wake up a little bit more. But when you watch what was been recorded of me, and you watch it from the very beginning, and you're going to see what I've been doing here at home behind the scenes on a consistent basis, 24 hours a day. When I'm not, out waging spiritual warfare or doing anything else, I'm talking on my phone and I'm creating a show here at home for mankind to watch, either through Rogers releasing the information, or one day from the planet, because this is being stored in the planet is invisible electromagnetic radiation through the Wi-Fi and through the signal to the tower. And one day I can release it from there, if I don't get my my Murphy or Rogers to release it. But I theorize that she will. She'll come forward. So that's why he gets shot. It's a representation of people out there saying, that guy's blah, 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 blah. And, Murphy coming forward saying, shut up, man. Here's a tape. Watch it. He asked me to release this tape. And the next thing you know, everyone's third eyes get opened up. And when I open up people's third eyes, nobody can say a goddamn thing about me being bad. So this is connected to Murphy saving the world. So his daughter saving the world. But at that particular time, the robot named SARS, he falls into the black hole too, and then he begins talking to Cooper. But he says, Roger that. Like he's responding back to a question from Cooper. And when you respond back, you basically, Roger means yes, I get that, right? So Roger that being the response from the robot is my clue to let me know whoever's watching me is coming from Rogers, a telecommunications company, which is connected to Mr. Rogers, because I'm Mr. Rogers. So this is a beautiful day in the neighborhood. That's Tom Hanks. He plays Mr. Rogers. So, hey, Mr. Rogers. Right? And so this particular video, when you watch it, is connected to this video here. Because if you're watching this from, say, I don't know, Africa, Europe, Australia, Indonesia, and you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, Rogers, well, Rogers is a telecommunications company in Canada. That's their logo. That's their name. So this guy sitting on the subway is a representation of me because he's wearing a black suit and tie, the exact same black suit and tie that I used to wear as a teenager. It's a skinny tie. I have it on most of my, where is it here? Right here. So we go over to here. That's me. So I'm wearing a black suit and tie there. Exact same thing as that guy's wearing in the playlist video. So when you come down to here, so we're now over to here, we got Repeat Murphy, then we got Interstellar Murphy, but then we have the robot saying Roger that, which is connected to Rogers here. This is Rogers, a telecommunications company, which is connected to Mr. Rogers here. A beautiful day in the neighborhood. So that's Mr. Rogers. So right here, when you watch Mr. Rogers and it says, hello, neighbor, that's a representation of me getting a hold of Maggie for that 10 minutes of crucial discussion. So I feel, like I said, I theorize she probably just happened to be clicking on my phone at the exact moment that I was probably finishing up my, my spiritual warfare climax. And there was a transition between watching, adult websites and jumping right on YouTube and start talking right away about my my activities. So that's typically what I do here. I do a confessionals. After my spiritual warfare, I do confessionals and let people know exactly what I learned and what transpired in here. And that's being recorded to Mr. Rogers or Rogers. I'm assuming at the cloud somewhere. I have all my confessionals of everything that's ever transpired back here. So when you see Hello Neighbor, it's a representation of somebody over at Rogers watching me right now, or has been watching me for quite some time. That's me, basically. That's whoever's watching me, sitting behind a telephone screen or sitting behind a laptop, looking at my cell phone activity and listening to me. So, hello, neighbor. So, next we got Who Framed Roger Rabbit? So, Roger is still connected to Rogers, the telecommunication company. So, I'm leaving you with your favorite friend, Roger, or Rogers, telecommunication company. But what is this Who Framed Roger Rabbit stuff about? So, that's what these videos are about here. So I've included these because these are my ways of protecting myself. So I talk on this video here about my laptop and potentially corrupt officials putting stuff on that computer that shouldn't be there. And it's the same thing in this video here about, me being afraid that people are going to frame me and put stuff on my computer that shouldn't be there. Is evil's way of locking me behind bars. So I was framed by the very people. So that's a video to protect me. So who framed me? That's the connection. So who framed Roger Rabbit? If it's not Rogers that's framing me, obviously there's somebody else out there who's also watching me, who has a duty to frame me and lock me behind bars. So that's the connection to why you're watching these two videos here. And Who Framed Roger Rabbit? If Maggie is the good person who's not going to frame me, obviously somebody else out there is watching me, a corrupt, police somewhere who has a duty to frame me. So that's the connection to Who Framed Anthony Rabbit or Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So the next video is Roger Ramjet. He's a hero. He's talking about, saving the day, which is a representation of a person at Rogers saving the day. So next we go to the Black Keys, Howling for You. So, there's that part there. So come and join us, all you kids, for lots of fun and laughter. So that's basically when you begin watching my show that has been stored on the cloud somewhere and it gets released to mankind, you're going to have lots of fun and laughter because you're going to have your third eye wakened up. So that's the connection to Roger Ramjet. Now, this particular scene here is Howling for You from the Black Keys. The Black Keys is connected way over here back at the beginning to we need to find the keys of Edge of Tomorrow. So we need to find the keys. Where's that one? Okay, so whoever the keys are at Rogers must be black. That's the connection. So that's where I theorize that she's African American. She's the keys to making sure that I don't die by coming to my protection. The Black Keys. We need to find the keys. So this particular scene here, I find it interesting because it's called Howling for You. So when you see this here, Howling for You, it's connected to, see how her feet are off the ground here? Here, like that. And his feet are like that. You will not know that this scene is connected to this scene here. The werewolf attack. So werewolf attack, the howling. There's his feet there, which is those feet there. So you see those feet? It's those feet. These feet here, when they're in the air, are her feet there. So that's the connection. So howling for you is a representation of um, the lady at Rogers howling for me, like coming to my aid, because mankind are going to call me and my reincarnated soulmate, Jaden Solomon, a couple of monsters. There's been lies fabricated around Satan and Lilith. Was Adam's first wife before Eve. So she was cast out of the garden and demonized for not submitting to her husband. She thought that they were equal, but was told to subjugate herself and be below him. She didn't like that. So I guess the Almighty sent some angels to try to convince her to be less than anything that she thought that she was made. And she didn't want to subject herself to being below Adam. She thought they were equals. So they cast her out of the garden. And then he made Eve. That's the story. So through that association of Lilith being demonized and Lucifer being demonized, you want to think of those as being two monsters. Monsters are not real, just like werewolves aren't real. But a werewolf is a monster, and a demon is a monster. So howling for you is a representation of the person at Rogers, Maggie, howling for me, saying, whoa, wait a minute, mankind. Stop with the bullshit, man. That guy's not Lucifer, and that girl's not Lilith. They're not monsters. So stop with your bullshit. That's what it's referring to. They're not monsters. They're not werewolves, in other words. And she's howling for me. So the office werewolf attack right here, she's going through some files. The files is a representation of files to the cloud of this phone being recorded. It's like a digital file. So that's me as the werewolf trying to grab my files from Maggie at Rogers. There's the werewolf. Now, it's a representation of me being unjustly labeled a monster. So there's the file. That's me trying to get my files. Like, give me my files, Maggie. Create this show. You know what I want? I want a TV show. I want to give you $100 million. I want to marry you to Jake Gyllenhaal. I want to make you walk again, because when I get my signal over to parallel universe and get my spaceships over here, we'll have technology to heal any sickness. If somebody's a dwarf, man, we can heal them and fix their DNA and make them a giant. If somebody's a giant, we can shrink their DNA and make them a regular sized person. If somebody's paralyzed, we can fix that, no problem. There's not anything that cannot be fixed with technology. So, can we please create a show? That's me getting my files. And that's me. Basically, this girl gets attacked and she dies by the hands of the werewolf, which is metaphorical for the death of her belief in the invisible man and the belief that Native Americans are the creators. So when you see her die by the hands of the werewolf, that's all that means. What, that guy in the clouds ain't real? You're the real deal? I guess it's the death of my belief. In other words. So the next one is the solution. So we got howling for you, which is connected to the howling here and those files, and her trying to come to my aid by howling for me that I'm the good guy, which is connected to werewolves here. A trailer about werewolves. And this song here, Werewolves of London, which is about Jaden Solomon living in London. My reincarnated soulmate, your mother. And together, we're the werewolves of London. Because you guys are going to label us as monsters, but we're not monsters. So, the company that created this is the Solution Entertainment Group. What does the solution mean? Well, it means the solution to, stop people from unjustly labeling us as monsters and persecuting us, probably by dropping a nuke over here or, sniping me with a bullet or blowing my house up with a bomb. That's the solution, is the entertainment of those files that you got there, Roger. It's the solution to, put an end to the nonsense. So in this particular trailer, you're going to hear the wolves howling, which is connected back to the Black Keys howling for you. So this lady here, the daughter, is a representation of Maggie, my daughter, coming to my aid and howling for me instead of the invisible man like the rest of the people out there. Huh, that Native American guy, he's not real. My daddy's real. My daddy's real. Huh. So, no, she's not going to do that. She's going to howl for me and not the invisible man. So, 1 year ago, a supermoon turned millions into werewolves. You would not know that that particular thing is about being turned into a good person. Don't let the fact that the werewolf has been unjustly labeled a bad omen. It's a good thing when you realize that I'm good, that Jaden's good, and that we're 100% pure angelic beings. The reason it means turns people into millions of werewolves. It means 1 year ago a supermoon turned millions into angelic beings, just like mom and dad. That's what it really means. So she then says, "Mom." So you want to think that is every girl out there, all my daughters, realizing they finally got a mom as well. So, girls, I'm pretty certain you girls have probably wondered that, when you've been taught at school, like, my stories about the Almighty doesn't talk about him having a wife or a mother. Why is that? And now you hear, Mom? What, we have a mother? So it comes from that perspective, but it also comes from, Maggie realizing she has a mom who's going to be unjustly labeled and persecuted as Lilith and be demonized by you guys out there who believe in a bunch of mumbo jumbo. But, I theorize it's going to happen this December sometime. I'm going to blow up because I went and see the chief of council. I told him I'd put my book online. I don't know if it's been done, but tomorrow I can go walk down and see what they've done, and I can go raise a little hell down the road and say, how come my damn book isn't on the website yet, man? So, if I can't get what I want by chief of council, that's my backup plan to go see Darcy Q. Giesick to get him talk to his wife Sheena, who's first cousins with Charity Ritchie, who went to school and graduated this year as Native Studies. So she specialized in the study of natives, which means, well, read this book. You want to know about Native Americans? Here, we're the creators. Read it. And when she reads that, realizes that I've been right all along and saying that we're the creators, I'm pretty sure she'll be, amazed to learn everything that's in the book, because she'll be the first person on planet Earth who's taken Native Studies to the next level, and it'll be real easy for her to, go, well, I've taken Native Studies, Jaden, and what I've read by Anthony's book, it blows my mind. And we are the creators. You are the mother of all creation. Here, read this. We got to set up a date. You need to come pick up this jump drive and read the book. So if that takes place this December, at some time this December, I'm going to go viral. That's what it's referring to. So, Werewolves of London. When Jaden reads that book, right? So we'll become the Werewolves of London. So this particular song here, he's talking about, I saw Long Chaney walking with the Queen. The Queen means the mother of all creation. But it's also associated with our next little trailer here. This one here, Bridgerton story. Queen Charlotte. So she's an African American queen. So I'm going to include that at the very, very bottom for her. I'll have to do a search here. Bruno Mars. So Okay, so I want to be smiling on the cover of Forbes magazine, smiling next to Oprah and the Queen. Okay, so the Queen is Jaden, Queen of all creation. Oprah is Maggie, or the person at Rogers, because Oprah has her own TV show. All it takes is the person, Maggie at Rogers, who's been monitoring me, to release the recordings, and suddenly she has a TV show. Well, it's my TV show, our TV show, so that mankind can watch it. So, right here. Yeah, I would have a show like Oprah that I would be the host of. So that's me. I'd have a show like Oprah, right? There it is again. So I want to be on the cover of Forbes magazine, smiling next to Oprah and the Queen, right? So smiling next to the person who's like Oprah, who has a TV show, which is you, Maggie. I want to be smiling next to Maggie, who's African American, I might add, and the Queen, who's white. So whoever's monitoring me and could create a TV show like Oprah must be African American. And the Queen, well, that's, you, Jaden. What up, Oprah? So it means, what up, Maggie? When you hear that, what up, Oprah? It means, what up, Maggie? So I'll include that at the end for you, Maggie, or Rogers. So we'll go over here. I'll add it in there now, I guess. So this goes right at the end. So right there, it's on there. So that'll be at the very end, the bottom there now. Since I went in there and talked about it. So the Queen Charlotte story, the fact that she's black, it's interconnected to Warren Zevon. I saw Anthony Coggy walking down the street with Queen Maggie, right? So if you wonder where I come up with the name Maggie, it becomes from Priceville. Priceville is about 40 minutes away from here. It's the first black settlement in Canada that was stolen by Canada and given to white people. So, where did that one go now? That's what this one is about. The little unknown story of Priceville. She probably doesn't even know about it, So it's a little blurb about the African Americans over at Priceville. So she's African American. So in the particular scene here, the kids, the non-African kids that took over that town, they played baseball in the graveyard on Maggie's headstone. So home plate was Maggie's headstone, like a grave. It fell over and got buried in the ground, and then they just used her headstone as the home plate, but the name on it was Margaret. Margaret. So that's where I theorized her name is Maggie. So this one here is the Lonely Boy, but I'm going to go back over to here because Maggie from the Priceville one, here, African American named Maggie or Margaret from Priceville is connected to Rod Stewart, Maggie May, where he talks about, wake up, Maggie, I got something to say to you, which means, wake up, African American person monitoring me at Rogers, I got something to say to you. Perhaps your name is Maggie. Perhaps you're African American. I don't know, but that's where I get my information from. That's why I theorize that. So next we go to the Lonely Boy. So if you look up here, it says ice. Crystal meth. Ice. And then off. So when I'm off the ice and not, looking at adult websites, I'm doing these videos like I'm doing now. So it's imperative that I catch Maggie at the right moment when I'm off the ice and talk to her for that 10 minutes and get her to pay attention to me for 10 minutes, and then get her to pay attention to me for half an hour, and then that half an hour turns into an hour, and then an hour turns into 3 hours, and then next thing you know, she's watching me for an entire day. And I've woken up her third eye. But in her world, I'm just a lonely boy on crystal meth, You're just a silly boy with a, what was it, a silly boy with a gun, and you, no, you're just a silly boy with a lance. Hello. It's called a stick. So she thinks I'm just a lonely boy playing around in the back room here by myself on ice. She doesn't realize that she's the keys to eternity, the black keys, because if I die, everyone dies. Grandmother will make a rewind time right back to the beginning of time. So in her eyes, I'm just a lonely boy. But I'm not. So now we got to go back to the playlist. So now that you have a better understanding of, why I call her Maggie, why I believe she's African American, the connection to Murphy. I could very well call her Murphy, but I don't think she's called Murphy. There's this song here called Dark Horse by Amanda Marshall, where the main lyrics are, "My money's riding on this dark horse." So it's referring to her being like a Trojan horse. A Trojan horse is something that was used during the Battle of Troy that allowed the opposing people to enter the city of Troy. They brought that big horse into that city, and there was soldiers inside the horse, and then they jumped out and they opened the doors and ransacked the city. So it's referring to like a Trojan horse. A Trojan is another terminology for a computer virus. So dark horse means dark Trojan horse or dark computer virus, which is referring to somebody releasing a video that's gonna take over the world like a virus and put me and mother on the pedestal as the creators of all existence who are good and not monsters or werewolves or demons. So my money's riding on this dark Trojan horse or this African American horse. Who can come to my aid? So that's basically what the song is about. You being an African American horse or African American Trojan horse who could, win the war by releasing a Trojan or a virus or releasing videos or my files that are stored to the cloud somewhere. So that's what the dark horse is about. And I've already explained what Billionaire is about. It's about me smiling next to Jaden Solomon, who's the queen, and Oprah, who's an African American and has a TV show, or Maggie, who's African American and has a TV show that we started together to save all creation.